The Innovators Network.
Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney.
Welcome to today's show. Greatly appreciate you joining us here today. We have a pretty interesting subject, something that comes up quite often in conversations. It comes up when I do sessions, I do workshops, or I facilitate an innovation sprint or something on behalf of a company or organization. And that is, hey, what are all the tools you use? Can you give me a list so I can go start checking those out and see if I maybe should buy those or use those or whatever? So today, we are going to cover the 9 types of innovation tools. There are literally thousands, if not tens of thousands of tools that you can use. It is confusing. And rather than getting down into the individual tools as of yet, we may do that in a series of future shows where I'll go through and show you how I use each of these tools. But today, we're just going to cover the 9 types. So today's episode, we're going to be discussing the role of tools in creativity and innovation, focusing on the 9 types of tools. And we're going to focus on answering 2 key questions. How do leading innovation teams use tools to create groundbreaking innovations? And why is it so important to choose the right tool for the task at hand? So those are the 2 questions that we're going to answer in today's show. But before we jump in, got a favor to ask. Can you follow, like, and share? Follow us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever. The best way is you can just search for me, which is Phil McKinney, no spaces, all one word. And I'm pretty consistent across all of the social media platforms. And then by doing that, then you can be updated, given that social media is one platform that we use throughout the week to share new information, new thoughts, or share interesting articles, etc. around this space. So follow us, like the show whatever platform you get the show on, whether it's give us a rating over on at Apple or on Google or Spotify or over at iHeart or wherever you happen to get your podcast from. Give us a rating, give us some feedback. We appreciate that. And then share. If this show contains content that you think is particularly appropriate for somebody, always down at the bottom of the show notes over at killinnovations.com is the link directly to the audio file. You can copy that link, send it to them. They don't have to log in anywhere. They don't have to give us any information. They can easily just play that audio on their mobile phone right from within the email you send them. So we try to make this as easy as possible for you to share. So if this content is something that you want to share, hop on over, share that. We would greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's hop into this week's episode.
This episode is sponsored by Zoom. With Zoom, you can streamline your communication, collaboration, and creativity all in one place. Zoom is the market-leading platform that provides video meetings, voice, webinars, and chat across desktops, phones, tablets, and conference room systems. To learn more about Zoom and sign up for your free account, visit killerinnovations.com/Zoom.
Many people believe that creativity is a talent and that only certain types of people are capable of it. And you've heard me talk about this many times. And in fact, in a recent show, I pointed out a research study that I've read that once you go beyond an IQ of about 120, which is a little bit above average, intelligence and creativity are not at all related. This means that even if you're no smarter than most people in the world, you still have the potential to wield amazing creative powers. Now, tools can play an important role in combining with that exercise of being creative. Using the right tools can actually give you an unfair advantage over those who choose not to use tools. Now, we've talked about tools in the past on the show, but today I want to dive in deeper. Now, businesses have been using tools and resources to improve performance for centuries. When the first business systems were invented, they were designed with a specific goal in mind: make it easier for businesses to operate. The earliest of these documents is what's called the Book of Costs. It was created by Venetian merchants in the 14th century as a way to track inventory, prices, and profits. It is said that this book can be seen as one of the world's earliest accounting books. Now, later on, when businesses began adopting more complex management structures, such as Taylorism, which is the system of using time management, and what some people refer to as Fordism, which is the use of assembly line design. These methods relied heavily on new technologies like typewriters, calculators, to improve the performance and minimize errors. Now, the same is true for modern innovation and creativity tools we use today, like brainstorming, training courses, books, brainwashing, hackathons, and more. They all have a specific goal in mind: to help you innovate better. In fact, as companies continue to adopt these new methods of innovation, it's critical that you invest in the right tools and resources to accomplish your goal. Now, tools are an enabler, and they enable craftsmen across a wide range of areas. A hammer in the hand of an expert carpenter can create an amazing house. A scalpel used by an expert surgeon can save a life. An innovation tool used correctly can lead to an innovation that changes the world. In order to unleash your creative potential, it's important to understand the categories of innovation and creativity tools available. Now, underneath each of these categories, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of tools you can choose from, depending on what it is you're trying to achieve. So what we're going to walk through now is the 9 categories. These aren't individual tools. These are the groupings or categories of tools. Now, not all categories get applied to every project, but this will give you the framework to think about what tools, what types of tools should you go out and find. Now, innovation is the process of improving your ideas and thinking, making it more creative, making your ideas better. Now, it's important that the tools you're using are also feed into this objective of the innovation. Now, tools will make us better. They help us do things that we just can't do on our own. So let's walk through these 9 categories. Category number 1, idea sketching tools. Idea sketching tools can be extremely helpful to speed up the innovation process. By quickly and easily putting your ideas down on paper, you can explore a wide range of possibilities. You can see what works best. Now, this can save time and energy by eliminating ideas that are not likely to work out before you go ahead and you invest in them. Now, additionally, idea sketching tools can help you communicate your ideas more effectively to others. Now, tools for idea sketching come in all shapes and sizes, but the basic idea is to quickly and easily put your ideas down on paper. This can be done as simple as pen and paper, or with more sophisticated tools such as graphic software or electronic drawing pads. I'm a big Remarkable 2 user, and I've shared about that on the show. Now, it's important to have something that allows you to easily express your ideas. Now, a lot of people will say, I'm not a drawer, I'm not a sketcher, I can barely draw a square box. Here's the trick I do. Now, I was originally an architecture major, so I do tend to be more graphically oriented, but I am not a sketcher or a drawer. If you ask me to sit back and draw a picture of the mountains here in Colorado, it would look horrible. What I do in the back of my idea notebooks in the little pocket in the moleskin is I'll carry a little plastic set of templates. These are templates that architects use quite often. They have a variety of different sizes of circles and squares, and they give you a nice sharp edge, etc. So I can pull out a pen, and draw and sketch just using straight edges and circles, etc. Using these little templates. They're easy to carry, stick them in the back of the moleskin. I always have them with me. That's the cheater way that I do it when I want to sketch, because I'm not a sketcher by nature. But I have found this to be very effective, to be able to sketch it in my idea notebook, scan it, and then be able to email it to somebody. So idea number one, idea sketching tools. Category number two, idea generation tools. Now, when it comes to innovation, the more ideas you come up with, the better your chances are of discovering a great one. But it's not easy to find the time and the space to think creatively. Look, we're all bombarded by lots of things on our list, and we can easily get distracted. That's why many creatives have found a set of tools that they use. It could be everything from mind maps to free writing or ideation exercises like brain writing to create and generate lots of ideas quickly. Now, these tools can be used either individually or in groups, and they give you the freedom from external distractions. You set aside the time. In my case, if I'm writing, like I'm working on the new book on the 7 Laws of Innovation, that's in development now, I set aside a block of time. I have software that turns off all distractions, email notifications, etc., and I can just focus. So, idea generation tools, whatever it is that you found that works for you, to block out those distractions where you can just sit down and generate ideas. Category number 3 is what I call creativity tools. Now, I couldn't come up with a better name. If you have a better name, let me know. But what do I mean by creativity tools? This is really a broader collection. They can help you and your team innovate faster. It's really about putting together all of these bits and pieces. But what are creativity tools and how do they work? There are many different types of creativity tools out there for a variety of purposes, but the most common ones fall into 3 main subcategories: ideation, collaboration, and evaluation. Ideation category is about generating ideas, brainstorming, facilitating, getting your team together and generating ideas. There's hundreds, if not thousands of ways to run very effective ideation sessions. The collaboration category is techniques that allow your people to share the ideas and build upon each other's ideas. So there's a whole variety of tools that are out there around collaboration. And then there's the evaluation. How do you evaluate? How do you vote? How do you select the best ideas so that you can prioritize your resources to make sure they're working on the right thing? So that's what I mean when I say creativity tools. Number 4 is prototyping tools. Prototyping tools can be extremely helpful in speeding up the process by allowing you to quickly and easily create a mock-up of your idea. These tools can allow you to do a mock-up, put it in somebody's hands, get feedback, and easily adjust. Now, when it comes to these tools, I use them primarily for feedback and to speed up the process. If I had to go off and build a more finished version of a product before I got that first feedback, like what we used to do years ago, that takes months. Now you literally can do it in hours, if not days. And again, these prototyping tools allow you to get the product pretty close to being completed so that when you do hand it off to somebody to build the final product or manufacture 10,000s of these widgets, it's going to be pretty effectively done. Now, some of the prototyping tools that I use are things like 3D printers, Raspberry Pis. I do a lot of Raspberry Pi stuff. I, in fact, just bought my grandson a Glowforge, which is a laser cutter, laser etcher. He uses it to design and build stuff that he actually sells. And then I sneak in. I guess it's one of those things where I bought him the Glowforge, but then I actually use it. So, but, the collecting up of these kinds of tools that allow you to put together the prototypes, for instance, in the Glowforge, you can cut your things out of cardboard, try it out, see if it fits, what does it look like, before you commit to cutting it out of acrylic or cutting it out of wood or whatever the material is you want the final product to be made out of. So, and some of these tools, the accuracy and the quality of the output from these tools is just amazing. Just in the last handful of years, the step up in the quality. So, if you don't have access to prototyping tools, if you don't own them, you don't have, you're not looking to buy them, find a makerspace. A lot of communities all around the world have makerspaces. And these are people who come together. They rent maybe a warehouse or something. They charge a membership fee. They use those fees to buy things. I was one of the very first people to join Makerspace in San Jose, California. We had, water cutters. You could cut, up to 6-inch thick steel, lathes, machining. You could do laser cutting. You could do, just about, you literally could build anything. You wanted to build a car up from scratch, you could do it. So you don't need to own the tools. You can get access to the tools, or you can actually design them online, send your designs in, and they'll send you the part back. And again, they're pretty cheap. Number 5, visualization tools. Visualization really helps you convert that idea into something that you can actually visualize, understand, conceptualize, and be able to show and get feedback on. Imagination has its limits. What's in my head can be very hard for me to try to verbalize and convey what's in my head into your head, to what you're going to understand around my idea. Visualization uses these, images, this kind of describing it in a way that you've got some medium that you can share it with. And these visualization tools can be anything from laying out a process map to a PowerPoint slide to a mock-up of what a website would look like or what a mobile app screen would be when the software actually gets done. These visualization tools allow you to convey what's in your head such that somebody else can go, oh, I get it. No, you don't. We won't, that button's too small. We don't want it there. No, that process step has got to go this way. It's got to go to make this stop first before it gets approved to move forward if you're innovating a process inside your organization. So visualization tools, key, but again, you can use whatever you have, piece of paper and a pen. I see a lot of people use PowerPoint in lieu of other types. You can use Visio, you can use Adobe tools, you can go to whatever links you want to go to. But again, it's about taking what's in your head, getting it into a form that then you can share with somebody else, and it's translating from what's in your head into what's in their head. And you can then use and you can collaborate around those ideas. So again, visualization tools. Number 6 is market research tools. Now, market research can help custom innovators identify customers' needs, problems, and potential solutions. And in the right hands, market research tools are really great at providing quantitative data about the population that has the specific problem, the specific opportunity that you want to go after. Market research also provides you insights in what customers want, their feedback, surveys they may have done as part of other research programs. And again, you can actually use this in every stage of the process, right from the beginning to the evaluation to the iterations stages. Market research can play that role. Now, a lot of organizations depend a lot on market research. It can play an integral role as far as creating the ideas behind new products because it allows you to understand more about your target audience before spending time and money and before you even find out the idea is good. But here's my one caveat on market research tools. You need them, but don't make them your exclusive input. Go out and talk to customers. Get your butt out of the chair. Go out and go face to face with customers so that you can get their feedback and you can understand exactly what it is. And you can see their facial expressions. You can see the confusion in their face, things that you cannot see from a spreadsheet in a market research study. So again, it can reduce your costs, reduce the opportunity for mistakes, gives you broader insights, but don't rely exclusively on market research tools to be the one face of the customer. Go out and actually talk to real customers as part of the process. Okay, number 7, trend analysis tools. Now, this is somewhat relatively new. It's been around, I don't know, maybe for a little while, but it's becoming quite popular. Trend analysis software tools help you spot patterns in social media, news feeds, other sources, so that you can stay ahead of what's going on with your industry, your niche, your market, your new opportunities. And it allows you to identify early opportunities, early problems. It identifies shifts in customer behavior before they even get recognized. Trend analysis tools will kind of give you the hint that something is changing, but it still requires on your understanding of your customers, your market, the competition, what the problem is, what are the customers really trying to solve for, so that you can identify the shift in changes as they're happening. And the key here with trend analysis tools is it can empower you to be ahead of the curve, ahead of your competition. Now, these tools typically are used with like existing products or maybe adjacencies, but they also have a role for anyone looking to innovate, come up with fresh ideas faster than you've done in the past. Rather than you going out and hunting around and pecking and looking for problems, which is one way to do it, the other is use these trend analysis tools to find new and emerging trends. You can also hire futurists to come in and look at your markets and share with you kind of their vision of the future. But trend analysis tools, again, is one of many data points that you should be using when identifying new opportunities, new problems to solve in order to innovate on top of. And number 8, technology scouting tools. Now, in my previous role as the CTO for Hewlett Packard, we interacted with a number of these tool suppliers and scouts, these consultants that actually will scout new technologies. Now, technology scouting, the whole role is really to help you quickly identify and assess new technologies that may be of interest or may be a threat to your organization. Tools that are going to automate you out where your customers don't need you. It's going to be completely automated, or a technology that's coming, or a solution approach that's going to come that is going to cause your customer to change their buying habits, as an example. Now, again, these tools can help you stay ahead of the curve, and they just make sure that you're aware of the latest and greatest technologies that could benefit your organization. Now, there's the tool sets, but then there's also this special class of consultants I was talking about, called technology scouts. These are individuals who are able to use their understanding of new technologies and their potential applications, which is the important part. Technologies, the newest technology in computer memory or in silicon design techniques or whatever are critically important, but unless you're really deep in it, it's kind of hard to translate how's that going to change and impact a meatpacking company in Iowa. But it will. But you need these consultants, these technology scouts, to translate, in some cases, this underlying technology and what does it mean, the so what part of it. And again, it's understanding the potential applications and to help identify new products that could be beneficial to the marketplace based on some of these new technologies. Now, these scouts will take this knowledge and they disseminate it to the companies they represent by pointing out technologies that they may be of interest. So typically, your relationship with a technology scout is on an annualized, almost like retainer basis. You pay so much per year. The scout is constantly out there talking, looking, meeting with all the different technologies, and they publish reports that your team can take advantage of. So, and again, the whole purpose is to help organizations discover these new things that they could take advantage of that might give them some form of a competitive advantage. So, and number 9, business model generation tools. Now, business model generation tools can help you explore and analyze a wide range of business models. This is one of the areas of innovation that we probably have not spent enough time on the show talking about, but it's important. It's not just about innovating technologies or innovating processes or solutions, but the business model. Innovating the business model can create huge competitive advantage. Think about innovating the business model for transportation in the form of Uber and Lyft and what kind of impact that has had. Thinking about the business model. So you may have an innovation, but an innovation teamed up with a business model that's uniquely leveraged and the business model itself is innovative can be game changing. So there are tools out there that can actually help you select the best model for your project. Now, there are a bunch of different business model tools available, and each has its strengths and weaknesses. But some of the more popular ones is what we call business model canvas, the value proposition canvas, the lean startup methodology, and literally thousands more. And yes, there are even consultants out there that will that specialize in business model analysis and business model innovation. So think about that, and you may want to take a look at a couple of those tools and try those out. So again, let's walk back through the 9 categories of innovation tools. Number 1, idea sketching tools. Get a piece of paper, pencil, pen, paintbrush, marker, doesn't matter. Get the idea down, write it down, sketch it, create a visual image about it. Doesn't have to be pretty. You're not trying to draw the Mona Lisa. You're just trying to get the idea captured. Number 2, idea generation tools. How do you generate your ideas? What are they? Could be things like ideation exercises, tools like card decks that you go through like playing cards. They may trigger ideas. This is idea generation tools. Creativity tools. These are tools that involve in really feeding into those 3 subcategories, right? Those 3 subcategories are critically important, and they feed into everything from the ideation category. How do you generate those ideas? Collaboration. How do you work with people to build on other people's ideas, share, and then the ultimate at the end is evaluation. How do you rank them? How do you make the selection of the best ideas? So that's what makes up number 3, the creativity tools. Number 4, prototype tools. How do you potentially build up a prototype? Now, I talked about 3D printing and I talked about things like Glowforge and laser cutters and those types of things. I've seen some pretty interesting prototype concepts made out of modeling clay, made out of Play-Doh, cut out of foam core. You can buy foam core in big chunks. You can take a kitchen knife, cut it down to size, can of spray paint. You can make a pretty convincing idea, concept, prototype. So prototype tools, depending on what it is you're innovating, can play an important role. Number 5, visualization tools. Visualization tools of, if you're working on software, what's the screen going to look like on a mobile phone? Or if it's a business process, draw out the business process flow and show where you're changing the business process flow. Again, the visualization tool objective is to get the idea out of your head and into the other person's head so they understand exactly what it is you are focused on. Number 6 is the market research tools. So the market research, helping you identify the customer, those demographics, the problems, the characterizations of the opportunity, all kinds of data. Gives you the data side of it. And look, I'm an engineer by training. The engineers, we love data because we use that to validate our thinking. Be careful. Market research tools, as far as input and information about your customer, should never be the only source you use for information about the problem, the customer, etc. Go out and go talk to customers directly. Number 7, trend analysis tools, looking at social media and press reports. And I read a lot of PhD dissertations. I am in Google Scholar all the time with a bunch of standard key searches that I do, looking for interesting research studies written by PhD students from around the world. But for me, it's all around trend analysis tools. And if you're interested in more about how I do this, you can go over to the show notes and search for Trend Safari. Trend Safari. It was a trip that I actually hosted every couple of years. I would take people with me who were part of my team at HP. We would go to places like the Hanover Furniture Fair and all kinds of industries and associations, the automotive show, etc. Things completely outside of HP's marketplace, but it was about inspiration. Is there things that are going off in those markets, those areas of deep, rich innovation that we could bring back and apply? So, trend analysis tools may not be a tool. It may mean you just got to get up out of your chair and go look. Number 8, technology scouting tools. Look, technology is having an impact pretty much on everything. And being up to speed and knowing the latest on the technology front is becoming increasingly important. Recognize if you don't have anybody on your team that is deep into the technology, using a technology scouting tool can be extremely helpful. And if necessary, retain a technology scout, a consultant who keeps their eyes. And scouts will specialize. There are scouts who specialize in mobile technologies, or scouts who specialize in microprocessor technologies, AI, quantum, right? Find your collection of technology scouts and have them help guide you through so that you can see and can take advantage of those things that are out there. And then number 9, business model generation tools. You can literally come up with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of different business models. The key is understanding the pros, the cons, the unintended consequences, of whatever business model you choose to apply to your innovation. And there's a lot of tools like, business model canvas and value proposition canvas, lean startup, etc., agile, that allows you to experiment, test, validate the business models. Take a look at all of those. So now we've gone through the 9 categories. Your next question I'm going to guess is okay, great, Phil, how do I test them? There's literally thousands of tools. Which ones should I try? Well, one is you can look across the categories. Not all 9 categories you're going to apply to every project. Figure out the ones that you want to apply. So for instance, the creativity tools. Creativity tools is probably the closest thing to what I've been talking about for the last 17 years, what we call the framework, the FIRE framework, which is focus, ideation, ranking, execution. So the FIRE framework. You can learn about the FIRE framework by this podcast. You can also learn about it in my book, Beyond the Obvious. You can get that on Kindle and Audible and Amazon and pretty much anywhere you can buy the book. But if that's of interest, you can buy the book. You can listen to probably 150 podcasts in the catalog here at Killer Innovations, all on the pieces and elements and how to use the FIRE framework. So if that's an area, you've got access to a bunch of free content that can help you guide you through that. If you're in need of business models analysis, or you need help on the technology scouting, there's tools you can go out. Don't try to do all 9 categories. You don't need to, it's not a punch list. Find and look at the ones that you think can be most helpful to the innovation projects you've got going on right now. And then the key is pick a couple tools, try it out, see if it works for you. It's never a one-size-fits-all in this world of innovation. Your organization is different than my organization, which was at Hewlett Packard, or my organization today, where I'm the CEO at Cable Labs. The cultures are completely different. The skill sets are completely different. The mission of the organization is completely different. You have to adapt to your organization. So take a look at the 9 categories, find those key few of them, and then go try them out, and then evaluate. Try them out on a project. At the end of the project, do a postmortem. Take a look at the project. How successful was it? What tools did we use? What tools were helpful? What tools were not helpful? Throw out the ones that aren't helpful. Try some new ones on the next project. And then you just keep cycling through. So as we wrap up today's show, look, tools are important for unleashing creativity and innovation because they provide a way to focus the mind and increase your productivity. Rather than staring at a blank piece of paper, unable to come up with ideas, look for ideation tools and be able to use those tools to give you kind of starting points that will trigger more and more ideas. When you have the right tools, you can do more with less time and with greater effectiveness. So if you're looking to unleash your creative potential, make sure to invest in the right tools and the right resources. Now, here at the end, I want to point you to some resources. First off, check out innovation.tools. So it is innovation.tools, and it'll take you to the online store. Over on the store, we've collected up the tools that I use, such as books, card decks, even the flip charts that I use when I'm facilitating brainstorming sessions, which sticky notes. I'm pretty particular about which sticky notes, etc., the markers I use so that people can read them in large rooms. I mean, these are things that I've learned over the 30 years, and I use the exact same. I carry them with me. I just did a 5-day session at the city of Richardson, Texas, with the city of Richardson around ideating, brainstorming around how does the city of Richardson be able to better support the autism community in Richardson. And we had 6 teams and we ran facilitated ideation and ranking, etc. And the tools that we have over at innovation.tools will show you exactly what I use. So this is literally not just tools because we think they're cool. These are things that I actually use in each of the engagements that I'm involved with. Now, caveat here. The store is in the middle of a major upgrade. If you'd gone to the store in the past, you know the store primarily just had, like, if you wanted an autographed copy of my book, you can order it there rather than going to Amazon. The card decks, you could order from there. The 7 Laws poster is only available at innovation.tools. By the way, any profit off the poster goes to hackingautism.org, which is a charity organization, so the money goes all to the charity. And in fact, any money I get from innovation.tools is donated to charity. I don't take there's no profit coming to me from the store. The new store, which is in process right now, depending on when you listen to this, will actually put the list of everything I use, but we're not going to sell all that out of that store. But it'll put it all there. You can click a link and it'll take you right where you can buy it, either on Amazon or in some cases, certain things are hard to get on Amazon, and we will point you directly to the resource so you know where to find these things to make it easier. What is the kit you need to really run an effective brainstorming session? What is the kit you should carry in your briefcase so that you can document, brainstorm, and collect your ideas up? That is what will be over at innovation.tools. So if you hop over there right away and the store is not quite ready, come back. We will be building that out. It's in process. Hopefully it'll be done before this episode's released, but just in case, it is in process. So again, to wrap this up, the best way to unleash your creative potential is to invest in the right tools and the right resources. And hopefully today's episode starts you down a path of looking at those categories that can be most helpful to you individually and to your organization. So based on the 9 categories or 9 types of innovation tools that we just discussed, which is the first one that you are going to focus on? Which is the first one that you are going to work on? Now, for me, I'm very graphically oriented, as I shared in the episode today about, I was originally an architecture major. So drawing, sketching. I'm sitting here at my table in my studio here in Colorado, and I've got different types of mechanical pencils with different types of lead in them. I've got straight edges and mechanisms to draw with. So for me, idea sketching is just fundamental to how I innovate. And it's the one that I have found really matches to my style. It's what sparks my creativity. And it's something that I have just found to be very, very productive for me. So find one that works for you. We're all different. You should not follow the leader. You need to find the tools. You need to find the approach that works for you, which requires you to experiment and try a bunch of them. Try them out, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then don't get stagnant. Don't lock onto a single approach or a single tool over an extended period of time. Constantly try new things. There might be something out there that just unlocks the spark on a specific project. So again, experiment, try them out. Hopefully you found the discussion today on the 9 types of innovation tools helpful for you. And again, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. Time is the most valuable asset all of us have. Once it passes, you can't get it back. You cannot save it. You cannot store it up for later. It just keeps marching on and on and on. So every minute of time is valuable, and I appreciate you taking the minutes out of your schedule to listen to the show. Thank you. So before we head out, again, I want to say thanks and help us spread the word. We do this show as a way of paying it forward. It's a way for me to satisfy the obligation and promise I made to Bob Davis, my original mentor, which was to share my experiences, my lessons learned, my mistakes, so that you get the benefit of that experience along your own personal and professional lives. So hopefully I'm achieving that. And one way you can help me expand and say thanks to Bob Davis even more is by helping us introduce the show to more people. So if there's people out there that you think would enjoy or benefit from the show, tell them about it. Pretty easy to find. We've been around 17 years. Coming up here in March, we'll be kicking off season 18. Yes, 18 years, averaging roughly 50 episodes a year for 18 years. So we've been at this for quite some time. So there's a big, huge catalog. Go over, do the search. You can find all the shows over at killerinnovations.com. And with that, have a great week, and we'll see you next time here at the show. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.
This show is distributed by the Innovators Network. For more information and other great shows and content, visit theinnovators.network.